But I did bring somebody with me I'm really sure you're going to enjoy. He'll be listed in the Guinness Book of World Records for throwing a playing card further than anybody else outdoors. I'd like you to meet my friend and fellow illusionist, the remarkable Ricky J. Michael? Don't let his appearance scare you. He's really a nice guy. I've heard.
Well, let me ask you something, Ricky. Is it really true what they say? Is it really true what they say? You actually throw a playing card further than anyone else in the world?
Yes, that is true. I had the pleasure of setting the new world's record in London for the BBC just a few weeks ago. It's quite a thrill.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Could you demonstrate how you do that here in the studio?
Well, it's either that or playing the bells of St. Mary's on my cufflinks.
Pick my favorite, didn't you?
Yes. All right, I'll be glad to throw a card out there. Let me step forward. You people in the back rows, please duck and don't try to sue me. I'm not a wealthy man. There's one all the way into the wind current. Another one to the... Woo! One for the Gipper!
All right. Very, very impressive. Very impressive. But like the man said, you ain't seen nothing yet. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricky J.
Thank you, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, it's possible to do a number of unusual and genuinely clever things with playing cards. In addition, it's possible to throw the card out into the air and have it come back to the hand, a simulacrum of the Australian boomerang. Thank you. It's also possible to throw a card in the air and cut it in half on its return with a pair of giant scissors. If anyone has a pair of giant scissors, I'll be glad to demonstrate. Does anyone have a pair of giant scissors? I do. Here's the way this works. One can take a card, throw it into the air, have it come back, and cut it neatly in half. A pair of giant scissors. Well on my way to the luckiest night of my life. By the way, for those of you who are asking about self-defense, if you're ever attacked by a pair of giant scissors, it's possible to throw a card at them, disabling them completely. I have recently written a book entitled Cards as Weapons, a study of self-defense with the ordinary playing card. It'll be out in a few months, and in it I deal with very important chapters, self-defense for geriatrics. As you well know, all old people play gin rummy. Also, I deal with self-defense against plastics. In Chapter 3, if you're attacked by a chicken which runs amok, first find it. I have one over here. Next, fire at the chicken. This disables it completely. If you're attacked by a band of animals or an animal band, fire and keep dancing. Dance, you devils, dance. Keep moving. Move, go for it. Move, move. God, hey, let's go. Dance, you devils, dance. Fire. One for the Gipper. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to continue in this vein, but unfortunately, the recent anti-levity laws make this impossible. Consequently, I'll be doing a serious card trick, simulating the skill of real magicians. Notice as I cut and shuffle the cards, certain of them spring forward. These just happen to be the 4 queens, once again proving this is indeed the luckiest night of my life. Thank you. Now I'm going to do my imitation of a European doing the exact same effect. Please watch the 4 queens as I take them and cut them into the deck, and now proceed to cut them out of the deck. A bold subterfuge. Watch the first queen, which has come out of the deck, face up, going back for number 2, an old Meters tune, Just Kiss My Baby, going back for number 2. Number 3, and by the way, notice if I were European, how much nicer this effect would look in a frilly shirt and with a bow tie. That's all 4. Thank you. And now, risking this streak of good fortune, I'll continue and do my imitation of this same trick as if it were done by a magician 100 years ago, with your kind attention. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall endeavor to illustrate with the aid of this ordinary deck of playing cards to show how futile are the attempts of plebeians to enter that select circle of society known as the beau monde. And indeed, to show how such entree is prevented by the polite yet frigid exclusiveness of its gentler members, let us assume it is the occasion of a public reception. Our table the hall, our deck the common herd, and we may fittingly select the four queens as representing the feminine portion of the smart set. Now, as would naturally be the case, I shall besiege these high-strung patrician ladies with attentions from the lower orders, which these next 12 cards shall represent. I shall start by placing 1, 2, 3 outsiders on Her Majesty the Queen of Hearts, the next 3 commoners on the Queen of Clubs, and though the notice or mention of all these commoners is equally abhorrent to the Grand Dames, I shall treat them exactly alike by placing on the Queen of Diamonds 1, 2, 3 rank outsiders. And finally, the last 3, which have been closest to the bottom, therefore least crowding and in most ways most deserving to proffer their homage on the Queen of Spades. Ladies and gentlemen, as you have seen, I have brutally taken advantage of these tenderly nurtured and unsophisticated young creatures by placing them in positions which must be extremely galling to their aristocratic sensibilities. Can they endure? Can they endure? Yes, indeed they can! Having some knowledge of the marvelous subtlety, resources, and finesse of the sex, I feel confident these women can, with tact and discretion, easily elude their persecutors and form a more congenial coterie amongst themselves. Watch very closely. Watch first the Queen of Spades as she turns her back on her suitors, and then she goes to Windsor for the weekend. Next, the Queen of Diamonds, slightly more daring than her friends, tantalizes the men, Gucci, Gucci, goo. And amidst their flushed consternation, makes her escape. The Queen of Clubs, knowing the aphorism, 'tis easiest to disappear from the crowd, does just that. Now you see her, and now, ladies and gentlemen, you do not. And finally, the Queen of Hearts, or, as I suggested only a moment ago, is it possible these women would seek out each other's company? Yes, indeed. The fatal vanity of the sex proves me correct. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. Thank you very much.